Here are a few key elements that you want to keep in mind when purchasing a home. This is Danny with DA Properties. Let's talk about it. So number one thing, when you go out to the property, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to walk up to the house. Here are very few simple steps to avoid the heavy and expensive pitfalls. Number one, take a look at the roof. So you have your 3-tab shingle most commonly, or you have your architectural roof. Glance at the roof, take a look at it, see what condition is in. Is it good condition? Is it bad condition? Like what does this thing look like? Also, you can ask your real estate advisor that you're working with, what they think about the approximate age, if they can pull it up in seller's disclosure just to see how old this roof is and if it needs replacement. Keep in mind that the roofs come in typically, again, I'm going off of general products that are available to the market. Your 3-tab shingle is available with about a 20-year warranty, and your architectural roof is available with 30 or 35-year warranty. Here in the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, these warranties really don't go all the way through just because of the super hot months that we experience throughout the summer. So you want to shave those warranties down about 5 years on the architectural roof, about 2-3 years on the 3-tab shingle roof. So that is the first thing that you can actually see just walking up to the house, right? Item number 2, take a look at the windows. Okay, so windows are super important and extremely expensive. Now, if a property needs new windows, if you're purchasing a home that needs new windows can range anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in replacement cost, right? However, this does not truly add to the value of the home, because any appraiser or any lender that's going to be looking to purchase this loan is going to say, well, windows are needed, roof is needed, HVAC is needed. So replacing these and sinking all that money into the home that you're purchasing short term is really not going to add that much to the value of the home. Okay, so that is another very important thing. Please do not miss it. Check the windows. If they're wooden windows, make sure they're not kind of, when people paint them over several times, that they're not stuck. Make sure that the seals are not broken, that the argon gas is still, inside of the panel, that you don't have any future expenses in that particular area coming up, because that can be very expensive. Item number 3, HVAC units. Okay, so most properties, luckily, will only have one HVAC unit. However, if you're purchasing a bigger home, 3,000 square feet or above, you may have a couple of them. You may have like a 2.5 ton and a 3.5 ton unit. Take a look at the age of both of these. So you have the furnaces, the heat pumps. You also have the outside condenser unit. So a lot of times when people update the unit, they update it partially. They don't update it fully. So you want to make sure that the outside, if you have just a simple HVAC unit with hot air furnace upstairs, and you have the condenser on the outside, sometimes when people replace one, they don't replace the other, right? So you want to make sure that both of them are replaced at the same time and they're both within reasonable age. So the age of these units, if maintained properly, can last 15, maybe up to 20 years, okay? If you're walking into a house and the units are 18 years old, the inspector is going to say, after they do an inspection, visual only, they're not going to open it up to check it in depth. They're not allowed to, actually, unless you have a licensed HVAC technician coming in to do the inspection. They're going to say if it's working, that it's functioning as intended. Well, functioning as intended today, that's a wonderful news. But a unit that's, let's say, 15, 16, 17, or 18 years old is at the end of the life, and you have to budget that money in with the price of the home that you're purchasing at that time, right? So if you have one unit, average cost for one unit replacement, if you use, you have your Carrier, you have your Train, you have your Lennox, Amana, so you have different products on the market, but average cost to replace one unit is somewhere in the neighborhood of $6,000, right? If you're replacing 2, 12, 3, 18, and so forth. So this is an expensive item that you can really kind of get right up front when you're walking up to the house and walk around the property. That's something you can see easily and avoid these costly mistakes or pitfalls if they're not researched in its entirety. Item number 4, water heaters. typically located in the garage. Super simple. You know, once you walk through the garage, you're going to see out there. One thing that's going to give it away, currently, whenever I walk in the garage, I look for the expansion tank, which is the little blue tank typically that's sitting right above the hot water heater. If it doesn't have it, it's typically an older unit, and you can always see on the side of the unit the age of the equipment. If it does have it, it's typically a little bit newer, which the expansion tank prevents the actual units from, you know, popping and, you know, releasing all the water out there. So when the pressure builds up in the tank and the tank is about to burst, it actually gets released into that little canister that sits above the unit, which prevents big water leaks, right? So that's something you want to pay attention to. Again, you have direct and indirect water heaters. You have, you know, your conventional, which is the regular water heaters. Then you have your tankless water heaters like Rinnai's. Those are becoming super popular. Pay attention to the age. Again, these units can last anywhere between 7 to 15 years. They're typically fairly maintenance free, right? So you still want to make sure that it's not like a 20-year-old unit and completely rusted, because that's something that, you know, if you're spending $1,000 to $1,800 on this unit replacement in a matter of, like, you know, the first year of home ownership, that's something you can easily pick up. Again, your home buying advisor should be able to point this out to you as well. And final and last item number 5, is your foundation. Okay, just walk around the property. Look at the cracks, look at the settlement cracks, just take a look at it. All concrete, well, I shouldn't say this, not all concrete cracks. Residential homes, concrete, they do crack, okay? Because we're using typically like a 3,000 or 4,000 PSI, you know, concrete pads that we construct about 4 inches thick. So you're gonna find cracks, and it's okay if you see just, you know, a 1/16 of an inch, like a small hairline crack. Those are okay. But if you see something that's bigger than like an 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 an inch, or something that's actually shifted and moved, where one section has fallen lower, you know, if they break apart like this, that's fairly okay, and we can fix it. We can, you know, put epoxy in there and close it for, you know, to prevent water intrusion. But if they have shifted, that's a settling issue. So that's something that can cost a little bit more money, and that's where we have to go inside of the house and make sure that our walls haven't adjusted, that we don't have any kind of you know, vertical or horizontal cracks in the sheetrock, right? So those are the 5 super easy items that you can pay attention to when you walk on the property. I don't know, for me it takes about 5 minutes, because those are the first things that I look for when I step my foot on any property. And it's just a good thing to kind of, you know, hey, scan the roof is in good shape, walk around the house, you know, hey, the foundation looks good, there's not many, you know, major cracks or anything, the HVAC unit looks fairly new, and it also looks, you know, maintained and taken care of. You know, pop the garage door open, what you see over there is a hot water heater, looks newer, check out the date. You know, super simple steps. You know, windows, you know, play around with them, open them up, close them, make sure everything works. And these little items right there can save you a ton of money and a ton of headache when purchasing a home. Again, this is Danny with DA Properties. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. My phone number is 704-340-5435. You can always email me, text me, call me if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon again.